Dandavat Pranams, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Welcome everybody to our live streams. So we're on the 15th of February, Thursday, 2024. And we'll be reading through our Jaiva chapter, specifically about the Mula, who has come to debate with the Vaishnavas in this chapter 11. So we'll sing a kirtan first, and then we'll go into it. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Vadadhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Anitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. O Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari. O Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. O Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Ganhavika Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Satchinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Shri Rishabhana Nandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Shila Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gaura Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Shila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudiya Vedantacharya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shibata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bharadasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauda Parasada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sika Holsi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gauda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Antadvip Mayapur Simantadvip Gautamdip Madhyadvip Koladip Ritujip Janadip Modandip Rududip Atmaka Navadvip Gam Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadasa Vadmatmika Shri Brajamandal Ki Jai. Shri Radhakun Shamakun Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Tulsi Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shrimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Yogamaya Purnamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra ki Jai. Shri Ketra Mandal ki Jai. Shri Sarva Vigna Vinashakari Shri Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki Jai. Bhakta Prabha Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Charidam ki Jai. Chari Sampradaya ki Jai. Chari Acharya ki Jai. Akara Mat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat ki Jai. Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Mat ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagatavat Vrinda ki Jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Agina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Priya Surupe Daita Surupe Prema Surupe Sahajabi Rupe Nijana Rupe Prabhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Kuruna Varatino Kalo Samarapaitam Unnata Ujjvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundaratu Tikatamba Satipita Sada Hridare Kandare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha Yam Prabhajantamanapetyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tam Mayatayo Taravo Venetus Tam Sarvabhutam Hridim Munimanatoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Baradram Tato Mamanasti Katyana Kapi Tavaivasmi Najivami Taivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayaman Charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Danvat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzarashishi Mad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzarashishi Mad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And I'm offering the same again millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchitananda Namine Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate, and unto our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya and all the Vaishnav and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. So now we come to our Jaiva Dharma, and I think we're into the second set. On page 830. Jade Dvaita Gyana Hoya Chitta Upadaya Krishna Bhakti Chiradina Upaya Upay. Such knowledge, which is solely related to the duality of this dull, material world, is fit to be rejected, whereas transcendental knowledge of the divine duality within the spiritual world, Chit Jagat, should be accepted forever within one's heart, both as the upaya, means of attainment, and the upaye, the goal worthy of attainment. So, as the means of attainment and the goal worthy of attainment, there's a distinction between them. The means of attainment, that means like our sadhan bhajan, what we're doing with our life and our time daily on a regular practice, and what is the goal that we are aspiring to achieve. So, we can break it down into two, the upaya and the upaye. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has done like that. Jiva kabu jadenai, hari kabu nai, hari saha jiva chintya beta beta mai. The jiva is not a product of dull matter, nor is he Keval Advaita, absolutely one in all ways with Sri Hari. So that's a duality there. If he's dull matter, if he's not recognizing his transcendental identity, then he is obviously associating with his material body principally. And if he can't find pleasure in the material body, what's the next best option? To go for the Brahman in moksha. So he's saying that he's not a product of the dull matter, nor is he Keval Advaita, absolutely one and always with Shri Hari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is so concise in his writings. The Jiva is inconceivably different and non-different from Hari. This is the conclusion. It's a conundrum for us because we have a part of God within us which is very great and very special and very powerful. And we have the antithesis of that, the turning away from the Lord. So it's a very delicate middle road. How can we traverse that? We can leave this material consideration aside. When we leave our material bodies, that's called Vastu Siddhi. When we realize Krishna, that's called Siddhadeya. When we have our spiritual body revealed to us through Guru's mercy, that is the Siddhadeya. But when the material body is still present. It's only when we reach the stage of Vastu Siddhi that we leave this material conception forever. And it really is forever. Nothing we will take. Because we can realize this because we reflect how much we know of our previous birth. What do you know of your previous birth? We don't even remember what happened yesterday half the time. What to speak of our previous births? So this whole conception, how illusory is it? And yet we're putting so much stress and importance on it rather than be hearing the shastric indications to turn and connect with our transcendental self, that potent self within us. And then only yeyatma suprasidati, only then will we actually be happy when we're acknowledging the reality and presence of Krishna in the atmosphere, within each other, within all jivas, everywhere, within every atom is an emanation. It's all manifesting from him. And yet we stubbornly, daily, practically moment by moment, turn to the dull material consideration as being more prominent, more important, more relevant. Oh, don't you know I have to make money to do this? Don't you know that I have to fix my car today? Don't you know that I have to fix my household with this? So many material details that have become so prominent in our lives. If we perform bhajan daily, bhajan doesn't necessarily mean that you're proficient in going into that spiritual realm every morning, but if you just diligently perform the um, direction of the chanting daily, at least for a few hours, better, more hours, obviously, but at least a few solid, focused hours of meditation, of allowing the soul to begin to connect with our dull material mind. The mind is not the soul. The mind has been given the power of attorney by the soul. Mind can do whatever it wants, and the soul has to follow along. The mind has that independence to turn away. That's Tatashta Shakti. That's the marginal nature that we are immersed in. So we have to appreciate this daily. And certainly the chanting will connect us with transcendence and give us the potency to be able to carry on in our daily lives, hopefully more reflective and more responsive to Krishna's direction. It's described actually in the Govinda Bhasya that every single night, in the deepest part of our sleep, the soul touches Supersoul. The soul touches Paramatma within the heart. That transcendental connection is actually just for a single billionth of a moment, a very, very, very short fraction of time. It just like reinvigorates the pure conception of actually who we are. Otherwise, we'd probably all commit suicide straight away. because we become so divorced from reality. And we are by nature enjoyers. And if we're not enjoying transcendental connection, we must be seeking material connection because we've got this um, impression, you can say, that we have to enjoy. By nature, Sat Chit Anand. We have that Anand by nature. We're hungry for pleasure. But we should always remember this one expression of Srila Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati's. It's very beautiful. That as soon as the enjoying tendency in the material world rises, know that humility is far away. And trying saying that to you, to yourself, before you're about to take a meal when you're very hungry and your senses want to enjoy the different flavors. Try reminding yourself of that. It's a challenge, but nevertheless, by the mercy of our great supporters, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Rupa Goswami, Vishnu Chakravarti, all our Guru Varga, they will support us if in that moment of remembering that expression, yes, when this enjoying spirit comes, if it's material, if it's materially orientated, then it's going to lead down the wrong hole, the wrong channel. So we've got all the indications, everything's there. Shastra's like the manual, the law book for humanity. And if we adhere to it carefully, all of our desires, material also, will be easily fulfilled. Easily. Deha kabu jiva nai, dara bhogya nai, dasha bhogya jiva Krishna Prabhu bhakta hai. The material body should never be considered to be the jiva, and this earth is not for the jiva to exploit and enjoy. The jiva's swarup is Krishna Das, and thus he is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, whereas Sri Krishna's swarup is Prabhu, master, and bhakta enjoyer. These are fundamental truths, and we hear them regularly, but how competent are we to be able to embrace them deeply? By the chanting of the holy name, this will empower us to appreciate these things really and truly in our lives, and then give more and more time to our spiritual focus. When we're with people, we're asking, we're inquiring, what are you doing about your spiritual life? How are you proceeding on this spiritual journey? Not what did you have lunch today, or what are you doing tomorrow? This is mundane, Gramya Kata. It's not easy. It's easy to say the words, right? Anyone can sit and say the words. But the real um, test is to, we say in English, put your money where your mouth is, to actually walk the talk, to practice these. Why not? We have a single life opportunity to do that. Jaiva dharma nahi ache deha dharma kata, nahi ache jiva gyan mayavada prata. This book, entitled Jaiva Dharma, neither discusses matters related to the dead material body, nor does it propound the Mayavad doctrine of the jiva's oneness with Brahm. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us this direction in this incredible treatise, this book, Jaiva Dharma. It means the truth of the jiva, the function of the jiva in this life. If we separate ourselves from the body just for a moment and can appreciate my the bodily aspect that I'm immersed in all the time, but sit back from it just for a moment and just see, where am I guiding my life? What am I doing with my actions, etc.? Because there is so much anand in the path of bhakti. There is so much bliss to be attained. But we have to forfeit this material conception. And that's our problem. We don't want to give that up. We actually want to remain attached to this body and this life and our friends and our relatives, etc., etc. We want that. So, okay, we'll have to suffer for it. No problem. That's the truth. Jiva nitya dharma bhakti tahe jadanai, shuddha jiva prema seva pala payatai. The jiva's nityadam is bhakti, devoid of material motivation. The jiva, purified by seva, attains the fruit of that seva in the form of prem. Yes, it's this form of prem. What sort of prem? This is what we're going to discuss, and we have been discussing a lot. Mahaprabhu is tasting prem and he's giving us service, swabhakti shriyam, to that highest conception of unnata ujjvala ras that he is relishing with Krishna. Mahaprabhu has become like Radha and he's tasting this with Krishna, this unnata ujjvala ras. That's what he's experiencing, and he's given us service to that. And simply just vibrating this holy name will take us into that realm. So now coming back to our subject matter of chapter 11, and from page 250, I just want to recap a little bit just to put us in um, sync with what we've done previously. So, because we had a day when we were discussing so many um, appearance and disappearance days yesterday. So I'm going to start in the middle of 250. So now we know the setting. The mullah has arrived. He's questioning the Vaishnavas. Gora Chandra is the spokesman, and um, the mullah. His name means this Baradur Din. His name, can't remember just now, is means the full moon of religion. So he's a special person, no doubt, and he's come. Just to come in front of the Vaishnavas, you have to be a special person, and to question them nicely. So he's asking about deity worship. This is the topic of this chapter. So now in the middle of this page 250, Gorachand is saying, which means the full moon of Mahaprabhu, the servant of the full moon of Mahaprabhu. The deity form is always Chinmaya, spiritual and conscious, for those who are on the highest platform of eligibility. Those on the intermediate level see the deity as endowed with perception and awareness, manomaya. So this is the intermediate. This means that the intermediate devotee has faith that the deity is conscious of his thoughts and prayers. Yes, he's giving his heart to the Thakurji and accepts his mood of worship. Thakurji is accepting my mood of worship. However, the intermediate devotee, unlike the advanced devotee, does not directly perceive the deity as the spiritual conscious form of Bhagavan, because he hasn't realized, he hasn't got sufficient faith in the actual form of Bhagavan. It's still in process of maturing. Those on the lowest level initially see the deity as material, Jadamaya. But in time, the deity reveals his pure spiritual form to the intelligence purified by spiritual love. Yes, it's a process. Consequently, the deity form of Bhagavan is suitable to be worshipped and served by all classes of devotees. Yes, he's describing the three different types of devotees, and the deity form is going to help cement all three types of devotees with their highest aspiration of connecting with Bhagavan. Consequently, the deity form of Bhagavan is suitable to be worshipped and served by all classes of devotees. It is unnecessary to worship an imaginary form, but it is highly beneficial to worship Bhagavan's eternal deity form. So he's broken this down already and described what is imaginary. That's to be rejected. The Vaishnava Sampradayas give this provision for people of these three levels of eligibility to worship the deity. There is no fault in this, for it is the only arrangement by which the jivas can gradually attain auspiciousness. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-26. Yatha yatan atma pari mrijayate so mat punya gata shravana bida nai tata tata pashyati astu shukshman chakshu yataiva injuna samprayuktam. O Uddhav, as the eyes that are treated with therapeutic ointment can see very minute objects, similarly, when the heart is cleansed of material contamination, By hearing and reciting the narrations of my supremely pure activities, he can see my subtle transcendental form, which is beyond the purview of matter. Yes, once we stop indulging um, with so much energy within the material realm to try and satisfy my material body, and we start cultivating more and more this focus and attention to my transcendental body in relationship to his service to Krishna, because the Jnani path, the path of moksha, is simply just to connect with Paramatma without service or sambandha. And that's like a glorified, liberated condition. But when the devotee is hearing constantly how he can render service to that Supreme Lord or that Supreme Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Gora Dham, then the activity of his soul becomes awakened. When we do our offering, for example, offering the boga, and we're doing it with full concentration and heart, that we're offering this to Sri Radha and Krishna through the medium of Guru. And when that has been offered as prasadam, then we very carefully offer that prasadam to Guru and all our Guru Vargya and all the different personalities that we choose to offer to, that Mahaprasad. And if we do that with really focused attention, that is directly devotional seva. And that will increase day by day by day. Sometimes 2, 3 times a day, we're doing that offering. For many, many years, we're doing that. So each time we're doing it, it's fresh. It's not like it was last time a few hours ago. Again, we're bringing up our highest devotional sentiments to offer to Krishna. This shows the continuum. It shows um, the progress of our consciousness. We can see each day, am I becoming more focused, more loving towards the Lord? It has to be progressive. Otherwise, it's like the analogy of cycling up a hill. To cycle up a hill, you have to get a lot of steam up, right? To cycle up the hill. But if you stop cycling, what happens? Immediately you start to roll back down again. You can't maintain that place. We have to keep the pressure up, so to speak, to keep the focus of our bhajan, of our attention on these merciful personalities, to maintain that standard. The Jivatma is covered by the material mind. Yes, I just said that the Jivatma has given the power of attorney. You know what the power of attorney means? Like when you go to a lawyer and you give the lawyer totally on my behalf. You can have the keys to all my secrets, my documents, and everything, completely on my behalf. So the soul has given the mind that power. The Jivatma is covered by the material mind, and in that state, he cannot know himself or render service to Paramatma. Yes, as the material mind, he can't remember Paramatma. However, by performing sadhana bhakti, which consists of hearing, chanting, and other devotional practices, the Atma gradually develops spiritual power. Yes, as we start to turn towards the transcendental self, then that potency in our material lives will increase. Everything will become auspicious. Klesh Agni Shubhada. Klesh Agni, Klesh means suffering. Agni means incinerated. Agni, fire. Shubhada, this is the first stage of sadhan bhakti, describes Kleshagni Shubhada, Moksha Lukhuta Krit Sadurlabha. That's the second stage, becoming freed from the desire for moksha. And then the third stage is Sandra Ananda, Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa. That's the third stage. That's the Prem stage. So these 3 stages, sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prema bhakti. It's a process. It's a wonderful process. We need to get on the horse. As the power increases, material knowledge slackens. Got that? What? The Atma gradually develops spiritual power. As the power increases, material bondage, yes, my bondage to matter in the form of my desires. Actually, it's easy to prove this to ourselves. If you sit down in the morning to chant and say you're planning to chant for 2 or 3 hours, you might write down what is your program for the day. I used to do this. I had like 6 or 7 things that I wanted to cover that day, you know, go and attend to. By the time I'd finished my chanting, I could look at that list again and say, well, I've actually only got to do about 2 or 3 of those things. The other things just became superfluous. So you can see that, see if it works for you. Just eliminating all the little details that we thought that we had to attend to. Perhaps they're not so important if they're not connected with developing the transcendental connection. You know what I mean? It's helpful, just a little game. As the power increases, material bondage slackens, and the more material bondage is relaxed, the more the soul's own natural function comes into ascendancy. Yes, if we sit down and we start connecting with our mala nicely, then all these material desires, they actually start to drift away. That's why if you chant more, you always have time to chant more because you have less material desires and less material things to attend to. But if you think you're a very important person and you have very important things, because that's the effect of what the material world will make you feel. They'll flatter you and patter you and say, yes, you're so important. You have so many important things to do. You're a big man in the world or a big woman in the world. You have so many, everyone's expecting so much from you. And if you respond to that with the material false ego, then you give up that opportunity of a more reflective internal focus. Understand? And these material desires just dwindle and dwindle. Because the nature of the mind, it always says, I want, I want, I want, I want. That's the nature of the material mind. But what's the nature of the soul? The soul doesn't want anything from this material world. There's nothing in this material world that will satisfy the soul at all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it doesn't want anything. That's the contrast. That's where we have to juggle in between somehow. Thus, one gradually attains direct perception of the self and Ishvara and engages directly in spiritual activities. So he's talking to the mullah in connection with the deity, and he's describing to the mullah that this connection with the deity can liberate us from all of these material desires. It has that potency. Some people think that one should endeavor to realize the absolute truth by rejecting all that is not truth. This is a very important point. This is known as the cultivation of dry knowledge. Huh? Yes, neti neti. What power does a conditioned soul have to renounce objects that are not inherently real? It's like the analogy of someone, a bank teller in a bank, and he suddenly says, I renounce all the money in this bank. Everyone just laugh. It's not yours to renounce anyway. What are you saying? You renounce all the money in this bank. So nothing in this world is ours. And if we're focusing on renunciation of what? This will just lead us into moksha, a mood for moksha. Dry knowledge. Be careful. What power does a conditioned soul have to renounce objects that are not inherently real? Can a prisoner who is confined to a cell liberate himself simply by desiring to do so? His objective should be to eradicate the offense that has placed him in bondage. The Jivatma's principal defect is that he has forgotten that he is an eternal servant of Bhagavan, and that is why he is bound by Maya and forced to suffer material happiness, distress, and repeated birth and death in this world. Remember the story of the man running in the forest and he falls into a dry well and he grabs hold of 2 branches and he looks down into the bottom of the well, and he sees it's filled with scorpions and snakes, poisonous snakes. And then he looks above, and he's running away from a tiger. He sees the mouth of the tiger above, but he's holding on to these two branches. And there's a rat, two rats, one's a black rat, one's a white rat. They start to nibble at these branches that he's holding on. So his future doesn't look very good. It's going to be suffering. But when he's fallen into this well, he's somehow shaken the tree where these roots are. And in the tree was a beehive. And the beehive is dripping honey. And it's dripping right past his tongue. And he sticks his tongue out and he catches that honey and he thinks, so sweet. But this is like the happiness that we experience in this world. We're surrounded by birth, death, disease, and old age, right? All these things are happening to us. And we're walking away from transcendence in so many different ways. And yet we're tasting a moment of material pleasure and we think, oh, that's wonderful. Now life is worth living. I had a wonderful experience. Life is worth living now. I just got a taste of the honey. Let me keep staying in this, predicament. This pastime of the tiger is in the Prahlad Charita, in the commentary, in the seventh canto, Bhagavatam. Although a person may initially be very busy in sense gratification, this is what we were just talking about, if for some reason or another his mind becomes a little inclined towards Ishvara, and he regularly takes darshan of the deity and hears Lila Katha, his original nature of being the eternal servant of Krishna will be strengthened gradually, gradually. The more strength this inherent nature develops, the more competent he becomes to perceive spirit directly. The only hope of spiritual progress for those who are the least spiritually qualified is to serve the deity and to hear and chant about the Lord. This is why the Mahajans have established service to the deity.
So that's why it says that the deity worship is for the neophytes.
But nevertheless, we are all neophytes to begin with. So that connection with the deity in the neophyte stage we've already discussed, they just see it like stone, but still they're practicing that mood of worship. If they're not worshiping the deity, it's like in Australia, the Aboriginals, they worship mountains and trees. Many people can worship different objects, but if you're worshiping a form of takoji and you're hearing the Lila Kata, it's saying, if you're hearing those pastimes about that form that you're worshiping, gradually, gradually, that form will start to manifest in your heart as a reality. The identity of Krishna will start to manifest. But it starts at the neophyte stage, yes. And then it goes to the intermediate stage and then the advanced stage. We discussed. The advanced devotee sees the deity as non different completely to Krishna. But the intermediate devotee is still in process of unraveling his various anartas to appreciate the absolute reality of Thakurji. It all takes time. We can't fast forward it. We can become more enthusiastic, though, to increase it. Mula, isn't meditating on a form of the Lord within one's mind superior to imagining a form with the help of the material elements? Good question. Understand the question. Is it better that we just create some material image, or is it better just to meditate on our imagination of the Lord? What's better? He's going to answer. Good question. Gaurachandra, they are one and the same. So what we are imagining in our mind, and if we're using the material elements to put something together to worship the Lord, and we're imagining that's the Lord, if we've made an effigy, for example, and we're imagining that is the Lord, then Gaurachandra is saying they're both the same. It's honor, it's worshiping. And this mood of worship, something beyond the self. And if we know about divine nature, that is what we're focusing on, right? It's like even the Aboriginals, for example, in worshipping mountains, is a step up from the regular beef eaters who are not worshipping anything. At least they're honoring something in nature. And from that stage, it can develop in another birth to a higher stage. But at least they have the mood of worship and honor towards something achintya beyond them. Understand? Gaurachandra. They are one and the same. The mind follows matter, and whatever it thinks of is also material. We may say that Brahm is all pervading, but how can our minds actually conceive of this, right? If you're trying to worship the Brahm, how can you conceive of that? We will be forced to think of it in terms of the all pervasiveness of the sky. How can the mind go beyond this consideration? How can we stretch it to that? Our conception of Brahm is therefore constrained by the limitation of material space. In other words, we're only imagining the Brahm. We're just imagining that effulgent light. It's all the imagination. It's not, because he's talking about worshipping something that is formless. And Gaurachandra is answering, well, if you're worshipping something formless, it means it's beyond time and space, but your mind can't reach that place of consideration of something beyond the mind. Understand? It can't connect with something beyond your mind. Therefore, we have the deity, which is not beyond the mind, it's right in front of us. So there's a form, but you can't really imagine the Brahm, the Brahmajyoti, because basically Islam is focusing on the Brahmajyoti. They're not actually focusing on any personal form of the Lord. That's not their philosophy. Understand? We'll get it slowly. If one says, I am meditating on Brahm, the experience of Brahm will be limited by material time, for it fades when one's meditation is concluded. As soon as you come out of that meditation, you start to interact with the gross material elements, and again, you forget about that experience of them. You might remember it to some degree, but you forget the vision of it. How can the mind's meditation grasp an object that is above matter? The mind is made of matter. It can only operate as far as the limitations of matter. It can't go beyond that. If it tries to go into the imagination, then it's called imagination. It's not necessarily factual, it's just imagination. But if we follow the Shastra and honor the deity and understanding, this is a stepping stone to understand the form of the Lord. The form of the Lord is very important. It makes the whole philosophy personal. Without having the personal identity of Krishna, then we have the contrast, impersonal, which means going to the Brahmajyoti, which is the Brahm, which is what he's explaining about. You're catching it. Understand? It's a very beautiful explanation here. How can the mind's meditation grasp an object that is above matter when it is conditioned by time and space? Yes, the mind is conditioned by material time, past, present, and future, which is which are material phenomena. One may reject the idea that the form of the deity can consist of material elements such as earth and water, and one can imagine that Ishvara is situated in the directions or space. But still, this is all Bhuta Puja, the worship of matter. It's still an imagination of the material mind. You haven't connected with the transcendental ingredient yet. It's still stuck in that time and space. When we say material time and space, past, present, and future, in the transcendental realm across the Viraja River, there's no time. There's only the powerful present. That's all that exists. Now, how can the mind? We can't. When we try to appreciate Jiva Tattva, we can't really fully ever understand it because we've never experienced anything that is eternal. We've never had direct experience of something that is eternal. Correct? We've never experienced that. We've only experienced matter, material practices, etc. When we contemplate the Leela and the pastimes of Krishna, then we start to appreciate that place of eternality. But we've never actually experienced that place until this body, that Vastu city that we said at the beginning, this body, we leave this body completely. Um, no material object can support one's attainment of the transcendental goal. Beautiful sentence. No material object can support one's attainment of the transcendental goal. He's just agreeing with the mullah that if you create a material object which hasn't been empowered by someone with transcendental vision, that will never help you to reach the goal. The material object will not help us reach the goal in any circumstances. The only thing that facilitates this is the awakening of the inclination towards Ishvara. Unless we genuinely want to serve Krishna, only then is that fictitious material goal going to become purified. If I want to connect with Krishna, then by worshipping the deity will begin to accept, like I just described about offering the boga. You can't see Krishna while you're offering your boga, but with full shraddha and faith, you're offering your boga. And if Thakurji is there, you're offering directly to him.
In other words, it's greed.
Huh?
It's greed that's necessary. Greed.
Hunger. Yes, hunger for this to become a reality. Absolutely. Utsaha. Great enthusiasm. Utsaha nischayat daryat. Rupa Goswami mentions second verse of the Upadeshamrita, or third verse. This inclination is inherent within the Jivatma. That's important to appreciate. This inclination, it's inherent within the Jivatma. It's already there. What's that? Um, uh, Nityasiddha Krishna Prem. Uh, what's it? Nityasiddha Krishna Prem. Sabu Shastra Nai. Shravanadi Sudha Chitta Korya Udai. Nityasiddha Krishna Prem. Sadhya. Sadhya Kabunai. That this Nitya Prem, Nitya Siddha, the eternal perfect Prem, Nitya Siddha, Krishna Prem, Sadhya Kabunai, is eternally present in the heart of the Jiva. Shravanadi, that means by hearing about this, Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitta, that the purity of the Chitta becomes purified, and then one can remember. Where are we? This inclination is inherent within the Jivatma and is gradually strengthened and converted into bhakti when one utters the name of God, recites his pastimes, and receives inspiration from beholding the deity, Sri Vigraha. The Lord's spiritual form can be experienced only by pure bhakti, not by gyan and karma. So Rupa Goswami also says in that Kriti Sadhya Bhavet Sadhya Bhav Sasadanabhida Nitya Siddhyasya Prakritam. In potential, this Nitya Siddha is there. It's there already. We're just trying to waken it up again. We're not trying to get anything new. It's already there. We're just trying to uncover our origin, our original nature. The Lord's spiritual form can be experienced only by pure bhakti, not by gyan and karma. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is being at length through this yoga ladder, starting with karma, then going to gyan. Then the fruit of gyan is moksha, but beyond liberation is bhakti. Mula. Matter is distinct from God. Great. I think that it is better not to worship material objects, because it is said that Satan introduced the worship of matter to keep the living entities bound in the material world. So he gives this evil propensity to exploit the earth for our own benefit a name, and he calls it Satan. We call it Kali. Kali Maharaj and Satan are in sync. They're best buddies. Um, Gorachand, Ishvara is one without a second. and he has no rival. Everything in this world is created by him and is under his control. Therefore, he can be satisfied with any object that is used in his worship. That's a big statement. Any object that is used in his worship, he'll be satisfied with that. We're using these electronics to glorify Krishna, broadcast Krishna. These are material objects, but we're using them for a spiritual purpose so Krishna can accept them, right? And make it successful. Everything is created by him and is under his control. Therefore, he can be satisfied with any object that is used in his service. There is no object in this world one can worship that can arouse his malice, for he is all auspicious. Even if a person such as Satan exists, he is no more than a special jiva under the control of God, and has no power to do anything that is opposed to God's will. However, in my opinion, it is not possible for such a monstrous living entity to exist. No activity can take place that is contrary to the will of Ishvara, nor is any living entity independent of the Lord. So Kali Maharaj is a personality representing this age of degradation, and he's representing it by um, people becoming encouraged to the lower grade, degraded activities, particularly wealth, gold, etc., prostitution, intoxication. So this personality is representing that degradation. But that personality or that degradation is all manifesting by Krishna's will. I mean, in every single cycle, the Chatuyugi, there's always a Kali Yuga. There's 1,000 Kali Yugas in the day of Lord Brahma. It's like the seasons. The seasons they come, and some seasons are pleasant and some seasons are not pleasant. But this is all ordained by Krishna for our advancement. And we described the other day very beautifully. I can send you a document now because we've already typed it up about the extraordinary nature of such a yuga and how it's so beautiful, except the attainment is minimal compared to what the attainment is in Kali Yuga. As the ages come down, the attainments go up, which is remarkable to appreciate. So in Kali Yuga, especially this darkest of Kali Yuga, Danya Kali Yuga, there's the highest attainment ever known in the ages of man in this Kali Yuga. I'll send the document after. It's from the 11th canto. One may ask, what is the origin of sin? My answer is as follows. Vidya, knowledge, is the understanding that the jivas are servants of Bhagavan, and avidya, ignorance, is forgetfulness of this. All jivas who, for whatever reason, take shelter of avidya, sow the seed of all sins in their hearts. If we deliberately walk away, once we've heard the truth from Shastra, and then if we choose to walk away, this is even more sinful because you're not sinning in ignorance anymore. Once we understand that illicit connection, etc., or accumulating unnecessary wealth, etc., and all of these things are sinful and detrimental, and yet we still do it. Yes, Aradha, this completely sinful person, and again he will fall into these lower states of life. In the hearts of those jivas who are it. Wait a minute. It's forgetfulness of this. All jivas who, for whatever reason, take shelter of avidya, sow the seed of all sins in their hearts. In the hearts of those jivas who are eternal associates of Bhagavan, there is no seed of sin. One should understand this truth of avidya carefully, instead of imagining an extraordinary myth about Satan. In other words, these sinful desires are coming from me. They're not coming from anything external. The environment is like that. In Kali Yuga, Kali Maharaj is there to encourage the sinful behavior, but always I make the decision. It's always, I have it in my hand. If I didn't have it in my hand, how could I get out of it and purify it? I have to accept responsibility. If I'm thinking, no, it's Kali Maharaj giving me a hard time, rubbish. We are giving ourselves, you know, we're not purifying ourselves sufficiently. Um, there is no seed of sin. One should understand this truth of avidya carefully, instead of imagining an extraordinary myth about Satan. It means that it is not an offense to worship the Lord in material elements. Worship of the deity is most essential for those of low spiritual eligibility, and it is particularly auspicious for people of high spiritual eligibility. We see all the Goswamis practically, they all had Thakurjis. Gopal Bhatta Goswami had his beautiful Radha Raman. Rupa Goswami, he has Radha Govindadev. Madan Mohan is worshipped by Sanatan Goswami. Raghunath Das, he worships Gopinath. All the acharyas, they all have their um, Bhaktivinoda Thakur worships Gaur Gadadhar principally. Gaur Gadadhar is his worshipable deity, Mahaprabhu. So whether we're um, Kanishta, Madhyam, or Adhikari, we can still worship the deity and take shelter. Mula, the inclination towards God cannot be stimulated by worship of the deity, because the mind of one who performs such worship always remains confined to the properties of matter. He's an old man, it's stuck in his head, even though we're hearing these truths. But we should, perhaps we might meet someone of this nature. They are fixed in their conceptions, especially if they're older. The conceptions are very hard to purify when we get older, unless you're exceptionally gifted. Gaurachandra, we can understand the defect in your theory by studying the ancient historical accounts of those who became great devotees. Many people began to worship the deity while they were neophytes, but as their devotional mood developed through the association of pure devotees, their realization of the transcendental and conscious nature of the deity also increased, and eventually they became immersed in the ocean of prem. So I think I'm going to stop here. We've gone over our time. I'm remembering the personality of Dhruva Maharaj, went to the forest with a completely material desire, and he chanted the mantra given by Narada Rishi, and he was focusing his mind on Bhagavan, Om Namo Bhagavate. He was focusing his whole mind on that. And he built a deity, as Narada Muni had described him to do. So he was worshipping that, but he had nothing to begin with. And in the end, he actually saw Krishna. So this is one example. There are so many. This is a very ecstatic part of the 11th chapter. So I'll just finish actually the answer to this question. We've got a couple of minutes extra. Let me just finish here. The irrevocable conclusion is that satsanga is the root of all spiritual advancement. When one associates with bhaktas of Bhagavan who are fully situated in divine consciousness, one awakens transcendental affection towards Bhagavan. The more this transcendental affection increases, the more the material idea of the deity vanishes, and through great good fortune, this divine consciousness gradually unfolds. Yes, the idea that this deity is made of stone or wood or water, etc., just goes away, and we understand this is a direct manifestation of Krishna himself. All those material considerations are purified away. Um, it vanishes, and through great good fortune, this divine consciousness gradually unfolds. In contrast, the advocates of non Aryan religions generally oppose deity worship. But just consider how many of them have attained spiritualization, Chinmoy Bhav. They waste their time in useless arguments and malice. When have they experienced true devotion to Bhagavan? All we see are the different wars between the various religious groups fighting on the false ego platform to try and my religion's better than yours, which is really nonsense. So what are they obviously experiencing of any higher appreciation? Nothing. The Muslims think they have to crush the Christians think they have to crush the Muslims. What is the potency in that? It's nothing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai. This should prompt many questions and reflections that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is inspiring within us. Jaiva Dharma ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare. Itai Gora Haribol, 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 Goda Haribol, Goda Premanandi, Haribol. Tomorrow is Advaita Saptami, fasting until midday, and then taking only Ekadashi Prashad. And I'll speak tomorrow on the glories of Advaita Acharya for focus and happiness on that special day tomorrow. That's the 16th of February tomorrow. So Advaita Saptami Ki Jai. Gold Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhabevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.